a WhatsApp number. It'll allow you to be able to share. Join the wrong one. Um, it'll allow you to get information that you need relating to the water crisis. So you will send a message via WhatsApp, water, you just type water on your phone, and you send it via WhatsApp to the number that I've just mentioned, 064 744 7721. And please interact with that number. And if you don't mind to do it while we chat, I would love to hear from you how you found that experience in terms of using the number that I've just mentioned now. Right. So let us then get on with the presentation of today, and then we can take your questions as they come. I'm trying to share my screen, and it's coming through. Just give it a few seconds. I can see something happening on the screen. Currently, our water consumption in the city is quite high. It is significantly higher than the target. We are currently sitting at a water use of 290 megaliters per day, where we should be ideally sitting at 230 megaliters per day. Nick, just to help me, can you see my presentation? Yes, you can. All right. I'm just going to switch devices and okay, that's fine. We're currently sitting at 290 megaliters per day, where we should be sitting at 230. That means collectively as a city, we're using more than 60 megaliters per day, which is quite high, and you will see why this is worrisome. If you look at the water supply system of Nelson Mandela Bay, there's what we refer to as local dams. The local dams of Koga through Luri, and obviously we've got Grondal and we've got Churchill and Impofu to the Koga area. These dams are what we refer to as local dams that are supplying water to the western side of the city. Through the east and getting water from the Orange River system, we have water coming through the Noordgedacht scheme, which then supplies about 60% of Nelson Mandela Bay. So 60% of the water in Nelson Mandela Bay comes through from the eastern side. As things stand now, when it comes to the local dams, the Crom system, which comprises of Churchill and Impofu, these dams collectively have just about 6 days of water left. The two dams of Churchill and Impofu have about 6 days of water left. Currently, we are currently extracting about 60 megaliters per day from Churchill. Is there someone who was trying to say something? Okay. If you're not chatting, please mute your mic, and then we can we can limit the interruptions, and then we'll open it up for conversation. 60 megaliters of water out of Churchill, 12 megaliters out of the Grondal system, and 20 megaliters from the Koga Dam through Luri. That's what we're currently sitting with in terms of available water in Nelson Mandela Bay. The other smaller dams, Springs and the groundwater contributing 5 megaliters, Noordgedacht 180 megaliters. The Noordgedacht scheme, as I've mentioned, is that scheme that's coming through from the east. And collectively, in terms of water, 105 of those are from those local dams, which I've explained. Collectively, that number gives us 290 megaliters per day. We have seen over time how the number, how this graphic representation of the supply has dwindled over time from 2012 to a slight bump in 2016, which was a good bump just before, in about 2016, and a significant decline hitting to just before 2019, and where we are at this point in time with Impofu, Churchill, Koga, and added in there Luri and Grondal. We also have a challenge in the city when it comes to water leaks. Water leaks account for a significant portion of water consumption, and this is what is referred to as water losses. And I will speak to this in terms of what is being put in plan to deal with this water, to deal with this issue. But as you can see, this is how I just need you to make a mental note in terms of the clusters, and what you can see now here is this is how the water leaks distribution is currently, unfortunately, in the city. We're sitting with a huge number of water leaks that is concentrated in the Lilian Dietrich cluster, followed by the Zolangeni cluster, and the rest are following. At this point, we are dealing with a backlog of 3,163 leaks, and I'll explain what is going to be done about it. And new leaks that were reported this week, about 865. But we can see that with the current capacity before today's intervention, we sat at 539 in terms of water leaks that were resolved. So let me then go back to first issue is, what are we doing about this current water leak? Just admit. What are we then doing about this water leak issue that is obviously a big problem? And from our journalists and communities who do call in and report leaks and maybe feel like nothing is being done about them, I guess maybe this explanation will kind of put things into context. As you can see the numbers, 3,163, they may have dropped today, water leaks currently persisting in the city. And these happen for various reasons. Some of those reasons include ailing infrastructure. Some of those reasons include, obviously, vandalism. And vandalism plays a significant part in water leaks. And obviously, other leaks relate to faulty meters at homes or damaged meters at home. And to tackle this issue, I'm going to outline two interventions. The first intervention, which is going before council, is an agreement between the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Chamber and the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. This intervention relates to members of the chamber coming forward in solidarity with all of us and bringing on board their skills, their expertise, and obviously the resources that are available to them to team up with the city in terms of dealing with water leaks. So the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Chamber is teaming up with the city in dealing with the rampant water leaks that are affecting our water losses in the city. That agreement is being worked on. As I said, it will go to council this week. And in the meantime, the business chamber is securing all the agreements with their members. And this work is being done on a voluntary basis. So the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Chamber is not generating any income from assisting the city in terms of dealing with water leaks. So that is happening as we speak in terms of the partnership between the city and the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Chamber. Secondly, the city's water and sanitation department that is headed by Barry Martin and Joseph and others has today met with all contractors that are available to the city. These are all contractors that are appointed to deal with water leaks. And a plan was agreed to earlier today in terms of what's going to be done as of tomorrow to deal decisively with clearing the backlog of 3,000 water leaks. So there is a commitment from all involved, including the service providers that are on board and those that are coming on board, that will be dispatched across the city. as of tomorrow to tackle the backlog of water leaks. As you can see, if we clear the 3,000 leaks, we will be dealing with a small recurring amount, which will bring the situation to somewhat being manageable. So as we stand now, as things stand right now, the city is attacking water leaks. We have got all agreements in place with service providers that are on board on this issue to make sure that we clear the backlog of 3,000 water leaks that are rampant in the city at the moment. That is the two interventions on water leaks. In terms of what is happening with the supply, why is my computer stuck? The issue that relates to supply, as you can see on this graph, that we are dealing, okay, there we go, we're back. We are currently not extracting anything from the Mpofu Dam. The Mpofu Dam, as it stands, and we were at the Mpofu Dam on Thursday last week. On Thursday last week, we visited the dam along with Minister of Water and Sanitation. The intervention at Mpofu Dam is to relocate the barge that is obviously sucking or pumping water onto the reservoirs and the treatment plants. Where the barge is currently located, it is unable to extract water. And those of us who did go to the dam can see the low levels of the dam. And therefore, the engineers are relocating the barge. And that process is underway. The supply chain process has been concluded. A contract has received a letter of intent. In terms of the processes that are involved, there must be a signed contract and they must move with speed. So as things stand now, a contractor has received that letter. Work should start commencing at Mpofu, and we estimate that it's going to take between 2 and 3 weeks for water to start flowing back from Mpofu Dam. So that is very critical in terms of the supply. So what does that mean? It means that all of us water users in the city, whether you are in the east, whether you are in the west, we need to stand together in terms of trying to battle and defend the city and push back day zero. The water situation is dire, and it needs all of us to be conscious about how we use water. The city is doing everything that I've just explained to deal decisively with water. There are borehole projects that are currently progressing well. That will bring a yield of about 40 megaliters into the system. Those will start coming in on stream around July going forward. So those boreholes projects that are situated across the city, Moorgrove, Seaview, and Bushy Park and others, will yield water into the system. However, to avoid and push back dry taps, we need to be consuming far less water than we currently consume. Now, there are questions around where or what is happening with the water. Why is consumption stagnant? Why are we unable to get to 230 megaliters of use per day? Why are we sitting at over sitting at 60 megaliters of overuse? And we understand that the leaks contribute, but the leaks aren't a massive contributor. We are looking at other reasons in terms of where this water usage is, and some people have phoned us in the call centers, and Metro Police has been dispatched to certain areas where there are allegations that there is water that is being diverted into rainwater tanks. That there are, unfortunately, water users that are stockpiling water into rainwater tanks. Otherwise, we have to understand where is this massive spike coming from. And again, we know these issues are being looked into. It is a serious issue, let alone the fact that, high water users face tariffs that are punitive. It is just not helpful for any of citizens to be stockpiling municipal water into rainwater tanks. The Weather Service has told us today that the city should receive some rain on Thursday. So if you want to clean up your drainage systems into your water tanks, please do. There should be some rain. However, it is insufficient in terms of dealing decisively with the current situation we face. We need a massive downpour to start dealing with the issue. And at this point, with about a few more minutes left, we're more than happy to take questions on the information that we presented. As I've said, those citizens who are tuned in via the various community radio stations, we thank you for tuning in, and we kindly ask you to spread the word in every community that you are in. We need to be vigilant around misinformation. For whatever reason, there are people who are abusing the current water crisis for other reasons. I won't go into that. We need to be vigilant. We've seen what can happen when people share fake news. Just recently, there was an incident that had to be dealt with, unfortunately, and therefore we ask you to go to baywatersavers.co.za. If you're looking for credible, verified information on the water crisis, it's only available at www.baywatersavers.co.za, or if you'd like to save that number I mentioned, it's 064 774 7721. 064 744 7721. Save that number on your address book. It's a WhatsApp number only, so please do not send an SMS. It will not work. You just need to activate the number by sending water. You send water to 064 744 7721. And that number will help you navigate and get the most reliable and verified information so you can stay on top of the situation that we are in. And at this point, any of our media colleagues who are on the call, I see a number of you. If you have a question, you can just put your hand up. I note the question on the chat. If you have a question that you'd like to pose, you just put your hand up, and then I will allow you to ask that question. I have a question from I think it's Mr. Rogers, Guy Rogers. He says, "What form will Big League's backlog crackdown tomorrow take? How will it be different to what you have been doing?" Let me tackle the first part of that question. How will it be different to what we've been doing? The difference now, Mr. Rogers, is that our contractors are going out in mass. They have been allocated specific areas to deal with. I think our director of water distribution called it a Water Leaks Festival, to deal with them decisively. So that is the major difference, that contractors have been given areas, they've been given targets. So there are people have agreed on performance targets in terms of these leaks. They are daily targets and weekly targets, and the number is set. The number is set in terms of what that team must achieve based on its size. And all 3,100 leaks have been identified to be completed by the end of this week. So if there's any reporting in terms of success or failure compared to what's happened before, I guess the proof will be on Friday evening by the end of day, that we see what has been achieved in terms of clearing those 3,000 leaks by going out in mass. And then the second part of the question says, I say that leaks is not a major contributor to consumption. How do you work that out, and how much do you estimate is being lost to leaks? So our engineers at the Water and Sanitation have been doing this for a long time. And an exercise was done on a communal tap in an informal settlement. And this is not encouraged, but a running tap that is shared by several households in an informal settlement will run, but will take up to 3 households to achieve the same amount of consumption. And I'm more than happy to have that conversation between yourself and the engineers, Mr. Guy, and they can take you through those numbers. But we know that the water leaks obviously are not the same. There are leaks that are small leaks from a water meter. There are small pipe leaks, and there are massive underground leaks. So to refer to them collectively as water leaks, that's fine, but one will need to obviously understand that the water leaks come in different sizes. However, we're more than happy to have that conversation with you and the team from Department of Water and Sanitation. I have this permanent hand from EM. Event support guest, it must be Nicholas. Nicholas, you can take your hand down if it is you. That's been permanently up. If there is no other question from our media, then all I would like to say is that it's important for us to be mindful that we are in a water crisis situation, that our water consumption is not dropping. It is, in fact, accelerating. And at this point, it makes it very difficult and improbable to avoid dry taps at this rate. Our target in terms of use should be 230 megaliters or million liters per day. We're sitting at 290. In the event that there has to be water restrictions or water being shut, let me explain that now. In various areas across the bay, there are what are called water collection points that are being put up. Those water collection points that are put up are obviously put up in the case that they may be needed. And there is a reason why they are where they are. They are located along what is referred to as the spine of the water system. So the water collection points that you have seen along Buffelsfontein or William Moffat, near the airport, and a few others that may go up, there's a list that we have published. Again, you can find the complete list of current and future water collection points at baywatersavers.co.za, or you can just find that by just messaging water via the WhatsApp number. You will get that list. These points would be provided water through the system. What that means is that water may not be flowing through our taps at our homes, and we would need to be collecting water for usage from these water collection points. It is obviously not ideal. It is obviously a last resort exercise to reduce consumption from complete system failure. So will water be available? Yes, but water will be collected from water collection points. So it is all within our hands to try and encourage water users, all of us, to to change our behaviors in terms of water use and try to reduce consumption to below 50 liters per day per person. And at this point, if there's no further question, we will close it over here and just say, please save the number 064 744 7721. Send WhatsApp message water to that number and go online to www.watersavers.co.za. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all those who have tuned in via the radio stations. And we're done. Thank you.